Hey, so I'm 10 episodes into The Punisher, and I gotta say, I really like it. I think it's a little long, but I like Micro, I like Madani. John Bernthal is easily the best Punisher ever made, but this 13 episode shit has got to stop. Like, the Defenders was a little too short at 8 episodes, but every other individual character's show has been way too fucking long. Even Jessica Jones, which I consider to be damn near perfect TV, could have caught him a little quicker. But I feel like there was something else I was supposed to be. Oh yeah, the Justice League. Justice League. Directed at first by Zack Snyder and then eventually by Joss Whedon. How much was directed by who? We can't say right now. People will speculate. I can't. At some point, I'm sure they'll do a director's commentary with both of them where they'll take credit for whatever they did. But it stars Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa. That's basically the core group. Ray Fisher. Why not? Why leave him out? Okay, so at this point, DC has made 5 movies for their DC extended universe. And at this point, I'm wondering why did they bother? They don't want me to like it. You know, the theater was half empty on, opening weekend, and 3 people were sitting there actually enjoying themselves. Everyone else was dead silent. It was I don't think that their universe is going to keep going for much longer because everything that they did in this movie, Marvel has already done better. You know, the whole team up thing, Avengers did it much better. In the Avengers, they had to do scenes introducing all the characters one by one, but they were somewhat connected and followed a storyline, a plot. The beginning of this one was just, oh, here's Superman doing something, now Batman doing something, just like in order. Wonder Woman, Flash? No, Aquaman. Aquaman, then Flash, then Cyborg. It's just a monument of stuff that has already been done. I came into this movie with the exact same mentality I had when I went and saw the original Avengers back in 2012, which I thought I was not going to like it. Avengers proved me wrong. Justice League just continued the trend of making me not care about them. Every Avengers movie that comes out seems progressively better because of the investment that I've put into it, of time and energy and learning about the characters. DC doesn't want me to do that. If they did, they would have made Man of Steel better. Or honestly, what I've been thinking is they should have just tied it off with, like, in the Dark Knight trilogy, they should have had the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. That one got, like, everyone excited because when Batman Returns or Begins came out, nobody cared. I didn't care. Nobody I knew cared. It wasn't until Heath Ledger's performance as a Joker that people were like, let's watch a Batman movie again. So I'm thinking what they should have did with The Dark Knight Rises was made Christopher Nolan start the DCEU. It would have been a lot closer to the time Marvel started, and Marvel wouldn't have beat them to the punch so badly every time. I mean, even The Flash was beaten earlier this year by Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Ezra Miller's Flash are more or less the same character, except Ezra Miller's just a little bit older. And he's got a slightly different family dynamic and power set, obviously. But his power set was also overshadowed by the Quicksilvers. Fox's Quicksilver in particular, but even Marvel's Quicksilver was a little bit less cartoony. I don't know. The Flash in this, like, I haven't watched the Flash TV show, but I've seen commercials for it, so I know what his running around looks like. And that's what it looks like. It's just like sometimes it'll go slow motion to show you, other times he's just over there and there's like lightning and sparks and shit. And it's like, is that actually doing damage to the stuff that he's touching? Because there's sparks flying off of shit, and I'm worried about Batman's equipment. And one thing that I've always kind of had positive for DC was that their villains were always good, or at least the Joker was in Dark Knight. But I also like Bane and Ra's al Ghul and Sleep Man? Sandman? Is that the guy's name? Sleep Man? Scarecrow. Scarecrow, that's the one I'm thinking of. But Steppenwolf was a waste. First of all, why is he named Steppenwolf? Isn't that like a band or a song in the 60s? Like, where would that name have come from? Is it some kind of German thing that I've just never heard the origin of? But, like, the Venture Brothers are referencing it. I just thought it was a song or a band, whichever. But he was all CGI, and they took Mance Rayder's voice, whose name I can't pronounce, and I'm not even going to try because it's Irish, and for some reason that's taboo for me. I'll try and butcher a French person's name, but I won't even try with Irish. If I can't do it, I'm not. But they wasted him, Mance Rayder, because you can't even tell it's him. You can't hear his voice because it's just all grumbling and like way over echo. This was not good. I mean, it may have been fun for the three people over on the other side of the theater who were laughing as hard as they could, like as if to fill the silence. But nah, this wasn't not for me. Not for I guarantee most of the people I know. I mean, there were bits here and there that were neat. Aquaman was a neat touch. It kind of bugs me now that Aquaman's out there because it makes Marvel setting up Namor harder. But I have a theory on how they could do that. But I might save that theory for when I do my Black Panther video because it relates to him. But yeah, Aquaman was pretty cool. Wonder Woman was basically the same, except for now she's directly referencing her movie. In Batman vs. Superman, which, by the way, is one of my least favorite movies ever made, she didn't really mention the war. A couple times with the picture involved, but now she's just volunteering that information out. Why? Because a movie came out. That kind of ties me into my whole problem with it. Every line feels like it was put there to serve a purpose, not because it's natural. You know, whenever they make a joke, it feels like social anxiety, like they're freaking out and they need to say something and they hope it's funny, but not because they're actually a genuinely funny or entertaining person, but because it's uncomfortable without it. I also like Cyborg. I used to watch Teen Titans, but I hated it because of how everyone acted, and I thought that they were, with the exception of Robin, were all made up. When Cyborg was announced, I was shocked and then worried because now I know that Raven, Starfire, and Beast Boy probably exist, especially Beast Boy. Fuck that guy. But in this, he wasn't a goofy teenager. I don't know how old Ray Fisher was supposed to be, Victor Stone, but he had clearly matured past the Teen Titans version, and he was actually pretty cool. He knew things that everyone else didn't, to the point where he was actually kind of like a walking Deus Ex, you know? I don't think Deus Ex Machina, but he knew exactly what people needed to know to progress the plot. The whole thing was mechanical, like a Rube Goldberg device, you know? Like they had to just keep adding slots in order to get to their outcome, the mousetrap to fall. And then it turns out at the end, Steppenwolf could have got his ass kicked if Superman was around the whole time. So even now, all the setup they did in the other movies, it was just to lead to Superman dying, so that they could drag Steppenwolf in. I assume Darkseid will be harder, but that's an also really stupid name, and I'm not happy about it. I don't understand how for 80 years there were two comic book series that were all basically the same. How do people care enough about two separate universes? Not like most people aren't like me. They don't cut off one side just so they can focus on the other. They'll do both because they like both. For some, I don't understand why. I don't get why you would need Batman when you have, Iron Man or Black Panther, or just, I don't know, better guys in my opinion, more interesting people, less whiny people. But I got 3 more episodes of Punisher to watch, so I need to go. It's getting late. Sun's going down, big guy.